Greetings! Welcome to the documentary series 5P1M, in which we explore building materials and technologies. This week, we have a material called cross-laminated timber. It's also known as CLT or XLAM. It's a building system used of massive multi-layered solid wood panels glued layer by layer. And without wasting any more time, let's move on to the production process. And today, we have a guest. It's the technical director of a respectable company, Mr. Belet. Welcome. So, can you please inform us about its manufacturing process, how they are produced?
Usually, CLT can be referred as super plywood. The material is produced in a controlled factory environment from sustainably sourced timber. CLT is usually manufactured from spruce. Once in the factory, the timber is planked and kilned to dry to reduce the moisture content of the material. The conditioned timber is then stacked into layers, known as lamellas, on top of one another. Each layer is placed perpendicular to the one beneath. These layers are then glued, using a non-toxic adhesive and pressed together with the help of the hydraulic systems to create a high-strength structural panels. Their width is limited by the size of the machinery. It's usually 3.5 meters wide. The length is usually determined by the method of the transportation to the site. Usually, 13.5 meters length is used for practicality. Up to 22-meter panels have been produced. Using computer numerically controlled joinery machines, any shape can be produced, meaning that opening can be pre-cut in the factory. Then they are delivered to the site.
Now, we will see how CLT is used in construction site and its applications. So we have Mr. Topçu, who is a construction site manager, and Mr. Önlü, who is a professional contractor. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks.
So, Mr. Topçu, quick question. How is this material applied and constructed in the site?
The panels are produced piece by piece according to their openings and dimensions directed by the building plan in the factory, then brought to the site to be assembled. But it comes with a price since all of the parts are brought from the factory to the site directly, and because of that later additions and design alternations are very hard to make and they cost a lot of money.
Well, it seems a little too simple, but are there any challenges during the construction phase?
Since most of the deaths during fires are because of the smoke and CLT is made of wood, making these buildings airtight is extremely important to prevent deaths during possible fire outbreaks.
I see it looks quite complicated, but I wonder in economic aspect, how can you compare this material to the others, Mr. Önlü?
Well, it's made from many layers of wood. Well, it starts from at least 3 levels up to goes 7, 9 levels. Just for that, it costs highly, yes. But however, this does not necessarily means that in the conclusion it should be expensive.
The walls and the floors manufactured piece by piece according to the building plans. Like Mr. Topçu just stated, then it's just a question of building a model in human scale, just connecting the prefabricated pieces. It's quite fast in the building application process, which I can say, since we gain time and it has quite low workload.
In comparison to one of the traditional methods of building, concrete, you have to wait for days for it to be dried and cured. But with CLT you do not wait for that. Whole building construction, or at least skeleton, is done within a matter of days. In addition that also CLT can be used with other materials like concrete and steel foundations as cladding material, floors and walls.
To learn some more about CLT and its properties, we have a professor here who's an expert on building material sciences, Ms. Ateş, who will inform us about this material. Welcome.
Hello.
So, about its stability and strength, can you inform us about it a little bit?
Like reinforcement in concrete, cross replacement of beams provides strength in wooden panels. It creates resistance to bending and breaking.
And isn't it essentially just wood? Like, how about its fire resistance?
Yes, wood itself known as very combustible material, but the heat generated during compressing the layers can reach to 350 Celsius degrees. After this step, fire resistivity value increases.
Okay, and what about its other qualities?
Wood is carbon neutral material and acts as repository of carbon. Also, in comparison to steel and concrete, wood in general and CLT in particular outperforms both materials. Concrete manufacturing and use constitute 8% of all greenhouse gas. Moreover, life cycle analysis research on wood products has constantly demonstrated that they produce less greenhouse gases and require smaller amounts of water, energy, and fossil fuels to transform than concrete and steel. While gaining in one side, we shouldn't destroy the other. What I mean is that, of course, while producing CLT, we use forests, but to protect the balance between constituting industrial forests can be a solution, like US and Canada doing for years now.
Now we have a practicing architect who worked with this material specifically. And Mr. Soysal here will explain this material a little bit more to us. Welcome. Can you explain it?
Thank you for having me firstly. Then I want to say that CLT is very appropriate to develop. For example, cassette flooring. It enables greater floor spans with wood. Another one is interlock panels. Unlike traditional CLT panels, this system does not use adhesives during its manufacturing. Instead, tongue and groove and also the dovetail joinery to lock each board and layer are used. This removes the use of glue types and allows the panel to be dismantled and also reused. This kind of approach helps us to build huge buildings. For example, the world's tallest CLT building, which is Mios Tower. The 85.4 meter high tower was designed by Wall Architecta. In Europe and America, CLT is very common, thanks to industrial forests, by the way. However, we don't have industrial forest in Turkey, so now I don't think it's possible to have CLT buildings in near future here.
Well, thank you. That was very informative, and thanks to all of our experts who informed us about CLT today. And thank you for watching us. See you next week.